Late summer 1998. Nightfall casts long blue shadows on the White House lawn. A Marine One helicopter descends, its rotors cutting through the humid air. The nation holds its breath. President Bill Clinton emerges from the helicopter's door, and right beside him, hand in hand, walks First Lady Hillary Clinton. Flashbulbs strobe across the darkness, capturing a scene no one thought they would see. Bill, the leader mired in scandal, looks shaken, eyes downcast. But Hillary's chin is raised, her face set in calm determination as she grips his hand tightly. The click-click of cameras grows frantic. Every lens zooms in on their interlocked fingers. In that simple, defiant gesture, Hillary standing firmly by Bill's side, a shocked country reads an unspoken message of unity. The next day, this photograph lands on front pages worldwide. Hillary sticks with Bill. It is an image that will become legend. Many will later say that this moment, Hillary's unwavering presence, prevented the total collapse of his presidency. But behind that public image of solidarity, a tempest rages unseen. Just hours earlier, behind closed doors in the White House residence, the bonds of trust lay in tatters. Rain patters against a window as Hillary stands rigidly in a lamplight glow, her arms crossed. Bill paces the carpet nearby, his shoulders slumped as if carrying an impossible weight. He has been dreading this moment for months. Finally, voice quavering, he forces the words out.
Hillary, I have to tell you the truth. I did it. I was with Monica.
For an instant, Hillary does not move. The confession hangs in the air like a dagger. She blinks, as if hoping she misheard. But Bill's guilty eyes say it all. The truth crashes down. Her husband, the president, has betrayed her and lied about it to her face for months. Suddenly, Hillary's composure shatters. Her eyes glisten with tears of fury and hurt.
What did you just say? No. Please don't tell me you. How could you? After all your denials, after I defended you to the world, you looked me in the eye and lied.
I was ashamed. I thought I could fix it, that it would just go away. I never meant to hurt you.
Hurt me? Do you realize what your mistake has done? You have broken our family's trust, Bill. You have jeopardized everything we worked for. Our family, your presidency, all of it.
Her voice breaks.
How am I supposed to forgive this? How do we survive this?
Bill steps closer, voice cracking.
I'm so sorry. Hillary, you have every right to hate me. I hate myself. If I could take it back, God, I would. Please.
He reaches for her hand, but she pulls away.
Please, tell me what I can do. I will do anything.
Hillary's eyes flash with a mix of anguish and resolve. Tears streak her cheeks, but she straightens her back, instinctively dignified even in heartbreak. For a long moment, the only sounds are Bill's ragged breathing and the soft patter of rain on the White House windows. Finally, Hillary speaks, each word measured and icy.
What can you do? You can start by giving me the one thing you have not yet, the truth. No more excuses, no more lies. I need to know everything, Bill, everything. Because right now, I can barely stand the sight of you.
In this private reckoning, Hillary faces the most painful decision of her life. Her world has been upended in an instant. Does she protect herself and walk away, or somehow find it in her shattered heart to stay and fight for the life they built? As she locks eyes with her husband, the president, one thing is certain. What Hillary chooses next will not only define their marriage, it will alter the course of American history. Hello, and welcome to The Kingmakers, the podcast about the hidden heroes behind historic triumphs. I am your host, Romeo Richards, CEO of the African Caribbean Matchmaking Agency. We help Black singles become the best version of themselves and connect them with other high-quality Black singles. I am delighted that you are joining me today. In this series, we shine a light on the spouses and partners who have helped great leaders and innovators reach their heights. the husbands, wives, friends, and loved ones who quietly turn dreamers into kings and queens. Our mission is simple: to uncover the untold stories of how the right partner, aligned with your dreams and values, can change the trajectory of your life and even history. In each episode, we will dive into an intimate, story-driven portrait of a famous figure's other half, distilling lessons on love, support, and personal growth. This is not just about giving credit where it is due, though that is important. It is about learning what makes a relationship truly empowering. Whether you are a values-driven single seeking your ideal teammate or someone reflecting on the power of relationships in your own life, this podcast will offer insight, inspiration, and yes, a few tears and laughs along the way. For every laugh, expect a tear. We believe that great stories blend both emotions. The Kingmakers is about hope and optimism in relationships, the earnest belief that the right partner can help you become more fully yourself and accomplish more than you ever dreamed alone. Before we dive into today's story, I want to invite you to do something personal. Think of someone in your life who has been a kingmaker for you, someone who believed in you, supported you, or challenged you in a way that changed your life's direction for the better. It might be a spouse or romantic partner, but it could just as well be a family member, a close friend, or a mentor. Hold that person in your mind as you listen. Maybe even dedicate this episode to them in your heart. Great achievements rarely happen in isolation. If you have a queen or kingmaker in your life, consider reaching out to thank them. Write down their name and your message of gratitude in the comment below to let them know you are dedicating this series to them. One more note before we begin. This podcast is for education and inspiration, not therapy or professional advice. We will be discussing real relationships and personal journeys, which can sometimes trigger strong emotions. If any story brings up personal distress for you, please seek support from a qualified mental health professional. Take care of yourself. These stories are meant to inspire hope, not cause harm. Tonight, in this raw and real episode, we peel back the curtain on one of the most famous and fraught marriages of our time, Hillary and Bill Clinton. It is the story of how a brilliant, fiercely loyal wife became the rock that a U.S. president clung to in his darkest hour. It will make you think deeply about forgiveness, loyalty, and what it truly means to be a partner through thick and thin. Love them or hate them, the Clintons' relationship is unforgettable, and you are about to hear it like never before. So, get comfortable, and let's journey back to where it all began. To understand how Hillary became the steady force that saved Bill's presidency, we first need to see how their relationship was forged through ambition, love, sacrifice, and storms that would test them again and again. Before they were president and first lady, Bill Clinton and Hillary Rodham were an unlikely love story of two equals, two intellects with one shared vision. The year is 1971 at Yale Law School. Bill is a charismatic Arkansas boy with big political dreams. Hillary is a brilliant Illinois native with an iron will and a mind sharp enough to match his. From the start, sparks fly not just of romance, but of intellect. They spend late nights debating civil rights and policy, challenging each other in the library until the lights flicker out. Bill is enthralled. He later tells a friend he has met the one woman who might be smarter than he is. Fast forward a few years to a summer evening in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Bill and Hillary stroll under the shade of oak trees on campus, where Bill is teaching law. He has already confided his dream to run for office back home and change the world. But he has a confession of a different kind tonight. He stops under a street lamp, turns to her with earnest eyes, and says,
Hillary, I have to tell you, I'm going to run for governor one day, and I need you with me. I will never make it if you don't marry me. I will never win if you are not by my side.
Hillary smiles in surprise, half flattered, half amused by his dramatic flair. She has her own dreams of making a difference, maybe even leading someday, but she knows deep down that Bill's vision ignites her too. In that moment, she realizes their paths are meant to be one. She nods and teases.
So, if I vote for you, I get me too?
They both laugh. Soon after, she says yes, and they seal their relationship with a kiss under the Arkansas moonlight. Bill was not exaggerating. He knew even then that Hillary was not just a love of his life, but the secret weapon in his career. Years later, he would joke to voters,
If you vote for me, you get Hillary too.
and he meant it. Hillary was his equal partner in every sense. In 1978, when Bill Clinton becomes governor of Arkansas at just 32, Hillary is right there in the trenches. While Bill dives into the art of politics, Hillary carves out her own identity. A top lawyer, a children's advocate, a modern woman who keeps her maiden name Rodham and speaks her mind. Arkansas had never seen a first lady quite like her, but being two for the price of one has its costs. In 1980, after one term, Governor Bill Clinton loses re-election. It is a crushing defeat. Suddenly, the golden couple is sidelined. Bill, just 34, is devastated. This was the first major failure of his life. He was haunted by critics blaming everything from the state's economic woes to his young wife's independent streak. Some Arkansans mutter that Hillary Rodham, an outspoken career woman who did not take her husband's last name, did not fit their image of a traditional Southern First Lady. There are whispers that her very name turned off voters. Late one night in the wake of defeat, Bill sits alone in their Little Rock living room, tie undone, face in his hands. Hillary watches from the doorway, heart aching at the sight of her husband's confidence shattered. She walks over, sits beside him, and takes his hand.
We are not done, Bill. You are not done. Arkansas is not rejecting you. They just don't know you yet. So we will show them, we will learn from this, and we will come back stronger.
Bill lifts his head, eyes filled with doubt.
Maybe I am not cut out for this after all. Maybe we should just quit politics. It is too hard on us, on you.
Hillary's gaze is steady.
Listen, if we truly want to serve people, we can't quit at the first setback. I believe in you, and I believe in us. We will adapt whatever it takes.
She pauses, then offers a quiet, symbolic sacrifice.
Tomorrow, I will go down to the courthouse and legally change my name to Hillary Clinton. If a single word on a ballot is what bothered folks, then fine, I will do it. They will know I am on the team, your team, 100%. No more confusion.
Bill's eyes fill with grateful tears. He knows what this gesture costs her in pride and principle. He pulls her into a tight hug.
You would do that for me?
For us. We are in this together for the long haul.
With Hillary's support and strategic mind, Bill Clinton picks himself up from the ashes of defeat. True to her word, Hillary begins going by Hillary Clinton publicly, not because she had to, but because she understood the political game and wanted to remove any barrier to their shared success. It is a small change with big symbolism. She is all in. Over the next 2 years, they campaigned tirelessly as a united front, shaking hands at every county fair and diner across Arkansas. Hillary listens to voters' concerns, offers policy ideas, and wins skeptics over one by one with her brains and grit. In 1982, Bill wins back the governorship. Many friends later say it was Hillary's unwavering encouragement and her willingness to evolve, as with the name issue that paved the way for his comeback. She was Bill's rock and compass, pointing him back to the path when he lost his way. Through the 1980s, the Clintons become a formidable team in Arkansas. Bill thrives as governor, and Hillary continues her own career, all while raising their daughter, Chelsea, born in 1980. They share a deep bond, talking policy over dinner, debating big ideas late into the night. Bill often calls Hillary the smartest person in any room, and he means it. She challenges him on issues, refines his ideas, and is not afraid to tell him when she thinks he is wrong, a quality he cherishes. She is the only one who can go toe-to-toe with him, and he loves her for it, one close aide would later remark. Within the walls of the governor's mansion, Bill and Hillary are true partners. Two bright minds constantly sparking off one another, dreaming up a better future for their state. Those who know them best see genuine affection and an almost magnetic intellectual connection. As Bill would often say, they simply love talking to each other about everything under the sun. That mental and emotional camaraderie is the core of their marriage. By 1992, Governor Bill Clinton's ambitions have outgrown Arkansas. He sets his sights on the White House, and Hillary is right by his side, both advisor and loving spouse. But the road to the White House is paved with trials. As the presidential primaries heat up, old ghosts come knocking. Rumors swirl of Bill's past infidelities, whispers that he has not always been faithful. The press digs up a woman named Jennifer Flowers, who claims she had a long affair with Bill. It is déjà vu for Hillary. Once again, her relationship is under public scrutiny, splashed across headlines. The accusations cut deep into the trust between the couple. Hillary demands the truth from Bill. He swears to her it is exaggerated, that there was no ongoing affair. Years later, Bill would admit there was indeed history with Flowers, but at that moment Hillary chooses to believe him. With the media circling like sharks, the Clintons know they have to address the controversy head-on if they hope to keep Bill's campaign alive. So, on a cold January night in 1992, Hillary and Bill sit side by side on a couch in their modest Arkansas living room for a nationally televised 60 Minutes interview. The country watches, riveted, as the young couple faces tough questions about the state of their marriage. The interviewer pointedly asks Hillary why on earth she stays with him, how she tolerates these ugly rumors. Hillary, back straight and eyes steady behind her large round glasses, answers in a tone both firm and heartfelt, a line that instantly becomes part of Clinton lore.
I'm not sitting here like some little woman standing by my man like Tammy Wynette. I'm sitting here because I love him and I respect him.
Her voice does not waver. Those words reverberate across the country. In one deft moment, Hillary makes it crystal clear. She is nobody's doormat. If she is at Bill's side, it is by choice, out of genuine love and respect, not blind loyalty or dependence. The public gets a revealing glimpse of their private dynamic. Hillary is an equal partner and a steel-spined defender of her husband, but on her own terms. Bill, visibly moved, squeezes her hand on camera. He knows how lucky he is. That joint interview becomes the turning point of his campaign. Voters see a man who has been humbled and a strong woman willing to fight for him and with him. It humanizes Bill's image, painting him not as a womanizer, but as a flawed man who is somehow worthy of this remarkable woman's trust. The sympathy factor is huge. Bill survives the primary and eventually wins the Democratic nomination and the election, largely thanks to that powerful television moment and the substance Hillary brought to the campaign. As Inauguration Day 1993 arrives, America finds itself with a new kind of first couple. The press dubs it a two-for-one presidency. For the first time, a First Lady is openly acknowledged as a key player in the administration. In the White House, Hillary Rodham Clinton hits the ground running. She is no wallflower content with hosting teas and decorating the East Wing. Hillary dives into policy. Bill often says publicly that he is getting two presidents for the price of one. In the administration's first year, he appoints her to lead a bold initiative on health care reform, an unprecedented role for a First Lady. Hillary throws herself into the task. She spends countless hours in the West Wing, poring over policy briefs, meeting with experts, crafting what she hopes will be a revolutionary plan to ensure health care for all Americans. Though her 1994 health care plan ultimately failed to pass in Congress, Hillary's intellect and tenacity leave an impression on even her critics. She knew the brief better than anyone in the West Wing, one staffer recalls admiringly. On the international stage, Hillary shines as well. In 1995, she leads the United States delegation to a United Nations Women's Conference in Beijing, and there she delivers a speech that rings around the globe. Women's rights are human rights. Her voice echoes with conviction as she stands before the world declaring equality for women. Back home, Bill beams with pride. He often introduces her not just as the First Lady, but as my partner in governance, making it clear he values her counsel on all major decisions. Some pundits start to whisper about the Clinton co-presidency. Some mean it as a compliment, others as criticism, but the truth is the Clintons truly function as a team. When making tough calls, whether it is selecting cabinet members or strategizing for re-election, Bill relies on Hillary. A cabinet secretary later notes, "If you wanted Clinton to make a tough choice, sometimes you would rather present it to Hillary first. She'd get him to see sense." Within the halls of power, everyone understands that Hillary is not just the president's wife. She is his closest advisor and his fiercest defender. And through it all, they remain husband and wife. In quieter moments away from the spotlight, they cherish a semblance of normal family life. They read books side by side in the residence at night. They steal weekends at Camp David, tossing a football with Chelsea or taking walks in the woods, trying to give their daughter as normal an upbringing as possible amid the glare of Washington. Friends who join them on these retreats see genuine warmth. Bill flipping burgers on the grill while Hillary chats and laughs, the two of them bantering about everything from policy to Chelsea's college plans. There is love there, real love, beneath the partnership and politics. The flow of ideas Bill always talked about between them gives way to a flow of laughter and affection. The Clintons are not a perfect couple. They bicker, they compete, they negotiate constant pressures, but those closest to them witness a deep bond and a shared sense of mission. It is that mutual mission, that alignment of core values, that has always fueled their relationship. I am sure, like Bill, you might be thinking of your own Hillary, because every man would appreciate a Hillary by his side. If those are your thoughts, you might want to consider the Afro-Caribbean Matchmaking Agency, where we help you become the best version of yourself and connect you to other high-quality black singles. Back to the Clintons. And then in January 1998, rumors of President Bill Clinton's improper relationship with a White House intern, Monica Lewinsky, had exploded into a full-blown scandal. At first, Bill vehemently denied the affair to everyone, the public, the press, and most vehemently to his wife, First Lady Hillary Clinton. Hillary, drawing on a lifetime of trusting her husband through past trials, stood by him unwaveringly. She publicly defended Bill, dismissing the allegations as part of a vast conspiracy against them. Privately, she clung to the belief that this nightmare would pass like the others. But this time was different. This time, the evidence kept mounting. Through the spring and into summer 1998, investigation into the scandal intensified. Whispered secrets turned into concrete proof. By July, news of a certain blue dress stained with incriminating DNA came to light, proof positive of intimate contact that made denial impossible. Bill's lies were unraveling in front of the entire nation. Each new revelation tightened the knot in his stomach and chipped away at Hillary's faith, though she still did not know the whole truth. The walls were closing in. As talk of a grand jury testimony grew, Bill realized he could not hide the truth any longer. The moment of reckoning was fast approaching, and it terrified him. It is a sweltering August morning in 1998. The air in Washington, D.C. hangs heavy and humid, pressing against the windows of the White House residence. Sunlight cuts through the curtains of the presidential bedroom, but the warmth does nothing to ease the chill that has settled in Bill Clinton's heart. He knows what he must do today, and it fills him with dread. All morning, Bill moves through his routine in a daze. He has been up since before dawn, pacing the halls of the private residence with worry etched on his face. A few aides come and go, helping him prepare for his upcoming grand jury testimony scheduled in 2 days. They review legal statements and possible questions, but Bill's mind is elsewhere. He knows he must speak to Hillary before she hears the truth from someone else. Every time he glances at his wife that morning at breakfast or passing her in the hallway, his stomach twists with guilt. Hillary notices Bill's haggard appearance and the heaviness in his eyes. She has seen him under stress countless times, but something about his demeanor this day is different. He seems paler, distracted, like a man carrying a terrible secret, which, of course, he is. Hillary herself has been busy that morning with her own meetings and calls, still dutifully defending her husband to allies. She reassures a friend on the phone, "Bill told me there is nothing to these stories. I believe him." Yet, as she says the words, a small tremor of doubt flickers in her mind for the first time. The relentless drumbeat of the scandal has worn her down. She resolves to talk to Bill later and get him to explain again, to reassure her face to face that everyone is wrong. By early afternoon, the heat is oppressive. The White House residence is quiet. Staff have been kept to a minimum for privacy. Hillary, done with her meetings, retreats upstairs to a sitting room to catch her breath. She stands by a window, gazing out at the south lawn, lost in her thoughts. Bill finds her there, steeling himself just outside the door. His heart pounds as he watches her for a moment, her back turned, sunlight on her hair. He knows this is the last moment before he shatters her world. Summoning his courage, he gently knocks on the doorframe.
Hill, can we talk privately?
Hillary turns, surprised by the tremor in his voice. She sees the sweat on his brow, despite the air conditioning, and feels a jolt of fear. Something is very wrong. Still, she offers a small, concerned smile.
Sure. What is it? You look upset.
Bill closes the door behind him. The room suddenly feels very small. He opens his mouth to speak, but for a moment no words come. How do you destroy the person you love with a single confession? His throat is dry. Hillary steps closer, her concern turning to alarm.
Bill, what is going on?
Bill's resolve nearly falters as he looks into Hillary's eyes. He sees the woman who has stood by him through so much, his partner in a lifetime of political battles and private struggles. She trusts him completely at this moment, and it breaks his heart knowing he is about to betray that trust irrevocably. A bead of sweat rolls down his temple. His hands shake, so he clasps them together tightly.
I have to tell you something. Something I should have told you months ago.
Hillary's heart skips. Instinctively, she knows it is about that subject, the only subject that could reduce this confident man to a trembling mess.
This is about Monica, isn't it?
Bill nods, unable to meet her gaze now. He takes a few halting steps away, running a hand through his hair. Hillary feels the air thicken. Her fingers grip the back of a chair until her knuckles blanch. Inside her mind, a voice whispers, "No, please no." For a moment, Bill's own fear nearly chokes him. His inner voice roils with self-reproach. How could I do this to her, to us? He pictures the blue dress, the undeniable evidence, and the grand jury he must face. There is no escape now. A wave of shame washes over him. He forces himself to speak.
Hillary, I have not been completely honest with you about Monica.
At the mention of the name, Hillary's lips press into a hard line. She says nothing, but her eyes flash a mix of dread and anger flaring. Bill swallows hard and continues, his words tumbling out in a rush.
There is some truth to what is being said about me and her. The relationship.
For a second, Hillary does not comprehend. Some truth? The phrase hangs in the air like a poison cloud. Her mind races. What is he saying? She feels her stomach lurch a wave of nausea and disbelief.
What do you mean, some truth? Bill, what are you saying?
Bill forces himself to finally meet her eyes. His own are brimming with tears now. In a small, shamed voice, he finally confesses fully.
I'm saying it happened. I did have an inappropriate relationship with Monica. It was brief and sporadic, but it happened. I am so sorry, Hillary. I lied to you.
The words hit Hillary like physical blows. She actually staggers back a step, hand flying to her mouth. For an instant, the world goes silent except for the blood rushing in her ears. Her inner voice is screaming, "No, this can't be real." She feels as if the floor is dropping out from under her. Then, suddenly, Hillary's breath returns in a furious gasp. Her face contorts first with shock, then with incandescent rage as the reality sinks in. The betrayal is real. He lied. He did it. Everything she'd staunchly defended as false is actually true.
What? What do you mean?
Her voice cracks. Bill steps forward, reaching out as if to console her, but Hillary throws up her hands, warding him off. Tears well in her eyes, but they are tears of rage.
What are you saying? Why did you lie to me?
She practically screams the last question, the sound echoing off the walls of the private sitting room. Her composure, the famous Hillary Clinton poise honed over decades in public life, shatters in an instant. All the hurt, fear, and betrayal she has bottled up explode outward, and explode with a force that seems to shake the very walls of the White House. In this private sanctuary, Hillary Clinton lets loose a lifetime of pent-up frustration and pain.
How could you do this? After everything we have been through, after everything I have done for you?
She is yelling through furious tears now. Her hands are balled into fists at her sides, trembling. Bill stands helpless, tears streaking his face as well.
Hillary, I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
I believed you, Bill. I defended you to everyone, to the entire world. You let me lie for you.
She paces wildly, then whirls on him, her face flushed with anger and anguish.
They asked me, and I said it was all lies. I said it was a conspiracy against us, and all this time you were lying to my face.
Her voice cracks into a sob on the last words. Bill steps closer, hands out in a placating gesture, tears in his eyes.
I was trying to protect you and Chelsea. I thought if I kept it secret, I could spare you both this pain.
Protect us? By making a fool of me? By risking everything we have worked for?
Bill's explanation only fuels her anger. Hillary's grief is laced with scorn now.
Do you realize what you have done? You have humiliated me publicly. You have humiliated our family. You have betrayed the presidency itself.
Her words cut like knives. Bill flinches, tears spilling as he chokes out apology after apology.
I know I did. I am so sorry. I have no excuse.
He moves as if to hug her, desperate to comfort her somehow. But Hillary's eyes blaze. She steps back, grabbing the first thing at hand, a heavy hardcover book from a side table, and hurls it across the room at him. The book sails past Bill's shoulder and thuds against the wall. It is a shocking, visceral act. She has always been controlled, measured, but not today. Today, agony has unleashed her deepest fury.
Don't you dare touch me.
Bill freezes, hands still half raised. Both of them are breathing hard. Hillary's face is wet with tears, her chest heaving as years of suppressed emotion pour out of her. In that moment, Hillary lets loose every hurt and betrayal she has ever swallowed for the sake of their marriage and political survival. Old wounds resurface. The rumors and indiscretions she'd endured in the past, each one a cut she had quietly bled from. All those times she'd bit her tongue and stood by him, convincing herself it was the right thing, that it would never happen again. And now here they are, in the most devastating humiliation yet.
Was she worth it, Bill? Was Monica worth destroying us? Worth destroying everything?
Bill, sobbing, shakes his head vehemently.
No, it was not like that. It meant nothing. I was just weak and stupid. I never meant to hurt you.
Hillary lets out a sob that turns into a derisive snarl.
Did not mean to hurt me. I stood up for you, Bill. I went out there every day and defended you while you made a fool of me. How dare you?
Her voice breaks again. She covers her face with her hands, overcome. Bill approaches carefully, aching to comfort her, but afraid any touch will further ignite her fury.
I am sorry. I am sorry.
He repeats it over and over, voice barely above a whisper now. He has no defense. All he can do is beg forgiveness, though he knows he does not deserve it. For several minutes, the room is filled with Hillary's sobs and shouts, and Bill's quiet, broken apologies. Hillary paces like a caged lioness, sometimes clutching the back of a chair as if dizzy from rage, then whipping around to unleash another torrent of hurt at her husband. She curses, she cries, she says things she never thought she would say aloud. All the polish and politeness conditioned by years in public life fall away. Here, she is simply a betrayed wife in anguish. Anyone beyond those doors would hardly recognize the usually composed First Lady. But here, in private, Hillary's pain is laid bare. Her trust has been shattered, and with it, the future she thought she knew has collapsed. The President of the United States stands before her not as a commander-in-chief now, but as a husband who has gravely wounded his wife. And Hillary is burning with rage and grief. At one point, Hillary's fury swells again as another realization hits her.
Your enemies, all those people out there eager to destroy us, you have handed them exactly what they need. Do you know what you have done? They are going to tear you apart. They will impeach you, Bill. The presidency, everything, it is all on the line now because of your selfishness.
Her voice wavers, not just with anger, but with fear. It is true. Beyond their personal crisis, Bill's betrayal has put their entire legacy at risk. Investigations are closing in, and talk of impeachment, once just a distant political threat, is growing from a whisper to a roar on Capitol Hill. Hillary's mind reels at the fallout. Not only has he betrayed her, he has jeopardized the very mission they dedicated their lives to. Bill opens his mouth as if to respond, but nothing comes out. He knows she is right. He has no one to blame but himself. The weight of shame is crushing him. Finally, as Hillary's sobs subside into exhausted silence, an awful stillness falls in the room. Both of them are drained, trembling from the emotional storm. Hillary sinks into a chair, wiping at her swollen eyes. Bill stands a few feet away, looking smaller than she has ever seen him, shoulders slumped, eyes red, his face etched with regret.
I just can't look at you right now. I can't. Please, go.
Bill hesitates, wanting to say more, but the look in Hillary's eyes stops him cold. It is a look of utter heartbreak and fury, a look that tells him he has done nearly irreparable damage. With a heavy heart, Bill nods.
I will give you some space.
He turns and quietly slips out of the room, closing the door behind him with a soft click. The moment he is gone, Hillary presses a hand to her mouth to stifle a rising sob. She doubles over, as if the pain in her chest is physically crushing her. She has never felt a hurt this deep. Inside her mind, 1,000 thoughts swirl chaotically. How could he do this to me? How could I have been so blind? What will happen to us now? Everyone will know. I have never been so humiliated. Alone in the room, Hillary allows herself to weep openly, gut-wrenching sobs echoing against the thick White House walls. The very foundations of her life have been shaken. In the hours and days immediately following that explosive confession, An eerie quiet falls over the first couple's private life, the eye of the hurricane after the initial storm. The staff in the White House residence go about their tasks carefully, sensitively. They all suspect what has occurred. The tension in the air is palpable, and whispers of the shouting match that shook the walls circulate among those closest to the family. Hillary and Bill barely speak to each other after that devastating encounter. A cold silence stretches between them, filled only with necessary discussions about schedules or public appearances. That night, Bill does not sleep in the presidential bedroom. Instead, he ends up on a sofa in a study down the hall, staring at the ceiling in the dark, alone with his guilt and sorrow. The only soul that approaches him is Buddy, the Clintons' chocolate Labrador, who wanders in and rests his chin on Bill's knee. Bill absently pats the dog's head, tears slipping out of the corners of his eyes. In that painful moment, it seems even the family pet can sense his despair. Buddy, in fact, may be the only member of the family willing to comfort Bill that night. Hillary, for her part, spends the night wide awake in the master bedroom, a box of tissues on the nightstand and eyes red from crying. When exhaustion does pull her into a fitful sleep, nightmares jolt her awake images of Monica's blue dress, of press headlines screaming betrayal, of her husband's lies. Each time she wakes, it is with a fresh stab of grief and anger. The bed feels vast and empty. She clutches a pillow as if it might substitute for the husband she wishes she could still trust. The next day, they carry on with their duties under a strained veneer of normalcy. Bill, as president, must prepare for his grand jury testimony about the affair, which is now just one day away. Hillary, as First Lady, has public events to consider and a rapidly developing crisis to manage. But in private, they remain distant. When they do exchange words, they are terse and tense. One such tense conversation happens on Sunday afternoon. Bill gently knocks on the door of Hillary's private study. She is sitting at her desk, staring blankly at a briefing document, though she has not absorbed a single word. Hillary looks up, her eyes cold. There is a hollow ache behind her stern expression. She steels herself, determined not to cry or scream right now. She has cried enough. Now she craves answers, perhaps even a plan for what comes next.
What is it?
Bill steps in, hands shoved nervously in his pockets. He looks like he has not slept, shadows under his eyes, face drawn.
I just wanted to check on you and to say that I'm sorry. Again, I know sorry doesn't begin to fix this, but I need you to know that I mean it.
Hillary's jaw tightens. She takes a slow breath, trying to maintain her composure.
Sorry. Right.
The word hangs between them. Bill ventures closer, stopping a few feet from her desk. He longs to bridge the distance, but knows he can't push.
I was also thinking we should talk about how we handle tomorrow. My testimony...
Hillary closes her eyes for a moment. Tomorrow, he will go under oath, and the world will finally know the truth he told her yesterday. The thought makes her stomach churn, but it also ignites her steely political instincts. Hillary has always been a strategist. Even through personal agony, her mind can latch onto a plan.
You are going to admit it, I assume. Under oath.
Yes, I have to. There is no avoiding that now.
Hillary nods, almost imperceptibly. She expected as much. The evidence ensures it. Still, hearing him confirm it sends a fresh wave of humiliation through her. Everyone will know he lied. Everyone will know I stood up for a lie. She lifts her gaze to him, eyes sharp.
When you testify, tell the truth. All of it. No more half confessions. No more technicalities. Just come clean.
Bill flushes, shamefaced, and nods.
I will. I promise.
Hillary's face hardens at the word promise. She almost scoffs. His promises mean little right now.
Good, Because if you try to weasel your way through this and it comes out later that you lied again.
She does not finish the threat aloud, but Bill can fill in the blank. If he lies again, their marriage will certainly be over, and likely his presidency too. He gulps and rubs his forehead.
I understand. I won't lie. Not again.
A heavy silence settles. Bill hesitates, then speaks in a gentle, broken tone.
Hillary, I know I'm the last person you want to see or hear right now, but I need to tell you this. I love you. I am so deeply sorry I hurt you. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I hope in time we can find a way through this.
Hillary's eyes glisten, but her expression remains resolute, almost stern.
Love? Bill, if you truly loved me, you would not have done this. Or at the very least, you would have come clean immediately instead of letting me go out and defend you based on a lie.
Her words are measured, but each one lands with force. Bill bows his head.
You are right. You are absolutely right. I have no defense. I was selfish and stupid, and I betrayed you.
He looks up, tears in his eyes.
I betrayed the one person who means more to me than anything, and it is my fault alone.
Hillary's face softens just a fraction seeing his tears, but her guard stays up. She has cried enough of her own tears to be swayed by his. Part of her wants to reach out and comfort the man she has loved for so long, the father of her child, her partner in all things. But then she remembers the image of that blue dress, of him standing in this very house with that young woman, and her heart hardens again.
We are going to get through tomorrow and the days after, however we can. But personally, I don't know, Bill. I just don't know if I can ever trust you again.
Hillary's voice breaks slightly on that last sentence, betraying the depth of her hurt. Bill steps closer, instinctively reaching out. This time, she does not back away, but she does not encourage him either. He stops short, hands resting on the back of a chair between them, a safe distance.
I will do whatever it takes to earn back your trust. Anything. Counseling, time apart, whatever you need. Just please don't give up on us.
Hillary studies him in silence. She sees genuine remorse etched in every line of his face. This is a man on the brink of losing everything he holds dear, and he knows it. There is a flicker of something in her chest. Despite her rage, despite her devastation, a part of Hillary's heart aches for the pain in Bill's eyes. She wrestles internally. She has every right to hate him for what he has done. Yet the history they share, the life they built, and the love that once was, can all of that really be discarded in an instant? Finally, Hillary speaks, her tone still cool but less cutting.
I can't make any decisions about us right now. I'm too hurt and too angry. So, for now, let's just focus on surviving the public fallout. We will deal with us later in private.
Bill nods, accepting this. It is more than he probably deserves, a sign that she is not outright ending things today. As he turns to leave, Hillary suddenly calls out,
Bill?
He turns, hopeful for a moment. Hillary's face is unreadable, but her eyes well with fresh tears that she quickly blinks back.
You better pray that I can find it in my heart to forgive you someday. Because right now, I can't even imagine how that is possible.
Her voice trembles on the word forgive. Bill's throat tightens, and he whispers,
I will be praying for that every day.
They share a long, heavy look across the room. So much is broken between them, but somewhere in that gaze there is a glimmer, faint and fragile, that this marriage might yet have something to salvage. Without another word, Bill slips out, leaving Hillary alone with her swirling emotions. In spite of her pain, Hillary decided to attend the strategy meetings with Bill's legal team and top advisors as they mapped out strategy in preparation for his grand jury testimony. She walked into the room, calm and composed in her suit, and quietly took her seat next to Bill. The effect was immediate. An aide would later recall, "When Hillary walked into the room, we all felt, okay, the family is intact, we can fight on." Her mere presence was a stabilizing force, a silent reminder that the Clintons were in this together and would not be easily broken. Bill's grand jury testimony comes and goes. He admits to the relationship in carefully chosen words, and the nation learns that the president lied to them. The scandal crescendos, leading to impeachment proceedings in Congress. Through it all, Hillary maintains a stoic public front, appearing at Bill's side at times. She continued attending strategy meetings with Bill's legal team and top advisors as they mapped out his impeachment defense. In one such meeting in the West Wing, the atmosphere was grim. Aides whispered anxiously, some fearing the presidency was as good as gone. Hillary walked in. Every time Hillary walked into the room and took her seat next to Bill, the effect was electric. Her mere presence was a stabilizing force, a silent reminder that the Clintons were in this together. Hillary rarely spoke up in these sessions, letting the lawyers run the show, but whenever Bill's temper flared or despair set in, one look from her kept him grounded. She inspired everyone in the White House with her courage, one staffer said. She inspired Bill most of all. As fall arrives and the scandal rages on, the House of Representatives prepares for an impeachment vote. It is a brutal, partisan battle. Hillary is still nursing a wounded heart, but she does not let it show. Instead, she rolls up her sleeves and gets to work in her own way. One morning in December 1998, as the House impeachment vote looms, Hillary quietly hosts a private breakfast at the White House for a group of women lawmakers from both parties. Over coffee and muffins in the residence, she speaks softly, vulnerably, to these congresswomen and senators, many of them mothers and longtime wives themselves. She does not beg or bargain. She simply reminds them that the country has been through enough turmoil. She makes the case that a full-blown removal of the president would be a trauma the nation does not need, suggesting that if punishment must come, perhaps a bipartisan censure would suffice instead of dragging the country through ousting a sitting president. Her eyes are earnest and clear as she says,
"People out there are hurting. They want us working on issues that matter to their lives, not reliving this scandal. Bill knows he let the country down. But please, let's not tear everything apart."
Some of those lawmakers leave that breakfast with deep sympathy for Hillary. They see not just a first lady, but a wife who is persevering through unspeakable pain for the sake of her family and country. Later, a few moderate Republicans admit that Hillary's poise and the public's sympathy for her made them think twice about voting to convict Bill in the Senate trial. Her silent influence and quiet lobbying become a subtle but pivotal factor in saving Bill's presidency. Finally, the showdown comes to an end. On February 12, 1999, the United States Senate votes to acquit President William Jefferson Clinton on charges of perjury and obstruction of justice. He will not be removed from office. The impeachment crisis is over. Bill will finish out his second term. That day, in the White House Rose Garden, President Clinton steps forward to address the nation. The winter air bites at the crowd of staff and press gathered on the lawn. Bill's face is lined with exhaustion and humility. Hillary stands just off to the side, Chelsea beside her, both of them composed and stoic. Bill thanks his legal team and supporters, and then his voice cracks with emotion as he says,
"I want to thank my family, especially my wife Hillary, who through it all showed what it really means to love."
At that, Hillary's eyes well up, and she gives a small, resolute nod. There is no dramatic embrace, no tears running down her cheeks, just a brief eye contact between them, a world of understanding passing in that look. Bill's gratitude is clear, and so is Hillary's strength. The moment is as quiet as it is powerful. They survived the storm. In the aftermath, America has a patchwork of opinions about Hillary's choice to stay. Some people applaud her as the epitome of grace under fire, an embodiment of loyalty and forgiveness. They see her as the strong woman who saved the president and maybe even the country from a constitutional crisis. Others criticize her, suggesting she stayed for political convenience or accusing her of being power-hungry or cold. But whatever one's view, no one can deny that Hillary played a crucial role in one of the presidency's most perilous moments. By standing with Bill, she lent him enough moral capital to ride out the scandal. Had she instead stood in that rose garden and denounced him, or simply vanished from public view, it is widely believed Bill would have been finished. His support on Capitol Hill and among the public would have evaporated. Her loyalty gave him a lifeline. In the court of public opinion, many Americans, even some who disliked Bill, felt for Hillary and respected her resolve. In a way, her personal crisis created a well of goodwill that extended to the president. So, why did Hillary stay and help Bill fight when she had the power, in that moment of betrayal, to destroy him? Few would have blamed her if she had walked out of the White House and announced she was leaving him. She had every justification morally, emotionally, even politically to end the marriage and let Bill face the consequences alone. That would have been the expected outcome of such a personal betrayal, especially under the unforgiving glare of public scandal. In fact, decades later, during the Me Too movement, many spouses did just that. Long marriages crumbled overnight when dark infidelities or abuses came to light. Divorce lawyers became busier than ever as wives and husbands decided that such betrayal was the one thing they could not and would not tolerate. But Hillary's story took a different turn. In the face of intense pressure and personal anguish, she chose a path that was far more difficult in many ways. She chose to forgive. It was not a swift or easy forgiveness. It was a hard-fought, gradual process, and perhaps it was never perfect. But the decision was made. She would not destroy her husband or their relationship over this. Instead, she would try to find a way to repair what had been broken. This choice speaks to a profound truth about power. There is an illuminating dialogue from the film Schindler's List, in which two characters discuss the nature of true power. One, a Nazi officer, insists that control is power. But the protagonist, Oskar Schindler, offers a different view. He suggests that true power is not in the ability to punish or destroy, but in the strength to show mercy. He describes a scenario. An emperor has every right to execute a thief who pleaded for his life, yet the emperor pardons the man instead. That's power, Schindler says, the power of restraint, the power of compassion when vengeance is justified. In Hillary's situation, this philosophy becomes strikingly relevant. She had every right politically and personally to retaliate, to unleash her wrath fully upon Bill, to leave him in ruins. She could have fueled his downfall by withdrawing her support at the peak of the scandal, potentially encouraging those in Congress who wanted to oust him. No one would have questioned her right to do so. And yet, her response, after her justifiable eruption of anger, was mercy. Like that emperor pardoning a man who expected death, Hillary extended a chance of redemption to a husband who expected revenge. This is not to say her forgiveness was immediate or easy. Far from it. In the aftermath, Hillary struggled deeply with her emotions. Forgiveness was a choice she had to recommit to over and over as she worked through her pain. But she understood something fundamental. Destroying Bill might empower her rage, but forgiving Bill could empower her soul. Forgiveness, in the end, was as much for her own sake as it was for his. By choosing to forgive, or at least attempt forgiveness, she was choosing not to be shackled forever by bitterness and anger. She once confided to a close friend that there are worse things than infidelity. To Hillary, the destruction of her family and the negation of all they had built together was worse than the sin of infidelity. Indeed, Hillary's belief in forgiveness over revenge was not limited to her own marriage. Years later, one of her closest aides would endure a very public betrayal by her husband. Many assumed Hillary, champion of women's rights, would advise her aide to leave the unfaithful man. But Hillary's counsel surprised them. She urged empathy and patience, advising her aide not to rush into divorce if there was still a chance to work things out. It was the same advice she herself had lived, that sometimes when trust is broken, it can, with effort and commitment, be rebuilt. Not always, and not easily, but sometimes. It is crucial to note that Hillary's forgiveness of Bill did not mean excusing his actions or forgetting them. It meant acknowledging the hurt, holding him accountable, and then choosing to move forward anyway. In private, she made sure Bill took concrete steps to earn back her trust, including intensive marriage counseling and many long, painful conversations. She let him know that the burden was on him to prove himself worthy of the second chance she was giving. Forgiveness, in this sense, was not a surrender. It was a strategic and spiritual choice to preserve what could still be saved: her family, her relationship, and perhaps her own inner peace. This concept of forgiveness as an act of strength, even liberation, is timeless. Literature offers a powerful parallel that can help illustrate what forgiveness truly means on an emotional level. Consider the classic novel Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy, which presents a story of marital betrayal and an unexpected moment of mercy. In Anna Karenina, the character Alexei Karenin suffers the ultimate betrayal by his wife, Anna. Anna has fallen in love with another man, Count Vronsky, and Karenin's world is upended by her infidelity. Initially, he is cold and vengeful, caring only for his honor and intent on punishing Anna by denying her a divorce and separating her from their son. But then, a dramatic turn of events changes everything. Anna nearly dies, giving birth to Vronsky's child. What follows is one of the most poignant scenes of compassion and forgiveness, a scene that can shed light on the very nature of forgiveness that Hillary faced in her own heart. His wife, Anna, lies before him, pale and frail, hovering between life and death after the birth of her daughter, Annie. This child is not his, the product of Anna's infidelity, the living proof of her betrayal. And yet, in this moment, none of that seems to matter as much as the sight of Anna's fragile form fighting for breath. Karenin's mind roams through the chambers of his conflicted soul. Why did we come to this point? Was it my neglect, my failure to see her needs? Each question cuts into his carefully curated self-image like a knife. Then he thinks of Anna's indiscretion, the specter of her betrayal. He remembers catching glimpses of her laughing freely with Vronsky, her face alight with a passion and joy she had never shown in their home. The sting of humiliation burns anew. His pride has been deeply wounded. He had been so angry, so prepared to cast her out of his heart forever, and yet, as he stands here now, watching her chest rise and fall weakly, a wave of unexpected emotion washes over him. It is not triumph or vindication. It is something else. Pity, compassion, love, perhaps all three, intertwined. He finds himself contemplating forgiveness, a notion that until this instant seemed impossible, even absurd. Is forgiveness a surrender? He asks silently. Or is it perhaps freedom? He realizes he is at war with himself. One side of him wants to remain hardened, to hold on to the righteous anger that has thus far defined his response. But another side of him, a side long buried under years of stony rationality, yearns for release from that anger, yearns for something gentler. As he gazes at her suffering, her vulnerability touches a deep well of empathy within him. He suddenly sees her not as the villain of his life, but as a human being in pain, a mirror reflecting his own pain back at him. Her agony is not a spectacle for him to gloat over or a punishment to relish. It is a stark reminder of the frailty and folly of all humans, including himself. In this dim, quiet room, Karenin reaches a profound realization. Holding on to his bitterness and desire for revenge is only poisoning him. By forgiving her, he might actually be saving himself. A tentative peace falls over his troubled heart as this understanding dawns. Perhaps forgiveness is not about her at all, he thinks, clarity emerging amid the storm of feelings. Perhaps it is about me, my peace, my liberation from this venom that threatens to consume my soul. With that, Karenin's rigid resolve softens. He steps closer to Anna's bedside, looking down at the woman he once loved and, in some distant way, still does. Gently, almost timidly, he reaches out and takes her hand in his. His touch is hesitant, the gesture of a man unsure if he has the right to offer tenderness, yet doing so anyway. In that simple contact, a bridge is formed across the chasm of pain between them. Tears fill Karenin's eyes as he forgives Anna, and even the dying Anna, in a feverish haze, perceives his mercy and is moved by it. Karenin also extends forgiveness to Vronsky, the very man who wronged him, urging him to live and take care of Anna and the child if Anna survives. It is an extraordinary moment of grace. In that sacred space of suffering and compassion, Alexei Karenin chooses mercy. He lets go of his anger, not to condone Anna's actions, but to reclaim his own humanity. The act of forgiving is his quiet rebellion against the cruelty of fate. It is, paradoxically, an act of immense power, the power to release himself from the shackles of hatred. Karenin learns that forgiveness is not a weakness or a surrender. It is a form of strength and freedom that lifts an immense weight from his weary soul. Hillary Clinton's situation, of course, is different in many ways. She was the betrayed partner, not the betrayer like Anna. But the essence of forgiveness remains much the same. Forgiveness is rarely a straightforward, sunny act. It is born in the darkest of times, wrestled with in the depths of our hearts. For Hillary, choosing to forgive Bill was agonizing, a decision made through gritted teeth and tearful nights. Like Karenin, she had to ask herself what forgiving would mean. Would it be surrendering her pride, her anger, or could it possibly be a path to personal freedom and healing? In the end, Hillary realized that forgiveness was her power to claim. She could choose to remain mired in rage, justified rage, no doubt, and let it destroy her family and her own spirit, or she could choose to forgive and thus seize control of the narrative of her life. Forgiveness, as she came to see it, was not about letting Bill off the hook. He would still face consequences, both at home and publicly. But it was about liberating herself from being defined solely by this betrayal. By forgiving, she claimed the power to define the next chapter of their story, rather than allowing the betrayal to define it for her. The scene of that August confession in the White House will forever remain one of high drama and raw emotion, a turning point after which nothing was the same. We can still picture Hillary, eyes blazing and voice shaking, confronting the man who deceived her, and Bill, shattered by the weight of his own guilt. In that room, we saw the very human faces of betrayal. But in the days and years that followed, we saw something else just as human, and perhaps even more profound, the capacity to forgive the unforgivable. In the end, Hillary and Bill remained together, not because it was easy or because what happened was okay, but because Hillary decided that their relationship and the life they built were worth fighting for, worth the difficult journey of forgiveness. Her story teaches us that forgiveness is not a weak surrender, but a conscious choice of strength. It is the bridge over the chasm of hurt, the act that can transform misery into hope. And that is the message at the heart of this tale. Betrayal may shake the walls of our lives, but forgiveness can steady them again. And in that act of pardoning, we may find our greatest power of all. Hillary's journey is more than just history. It is a masterclass in love, relationship, and personal strength. Let's unpack a few key lessons from her experience that we can carry into our own relationships. Whether you are seeking a partner or striving to support the one you have, here are 3 actionable takeaways inspired by Hillary's story. Lesson 1. Align on core values and vision. Great relationships are built on a shared mission. From the very start, Hillary and Bill bonded over common values, a passion for public service, and a desire to make a difference in the world. Throughout their marriage, that mutual vision kept them united through storms. They were always a team, working toward the same goals. In your life, ask yourself, do you and your partner or potential partner share the values that matter most to you? It could be a commitment to family, a faith, a cause, or a dream for the future. When you and your partner are aligned on the big things, you become each other's cheerleaders on the journey. Hillary and Bill both cared deeply about helping others and making an impact, and that common purpose became their North Star when things got difficult. So, lesson 1, find someone who shares your core values and supports your dreams, and be that supporter for them too. Together, you will weather challenges knowing you are fighting for the same vision. Lesson 2, be each other's rock through adaptation and mutual support. Every relationship will face setbacks and changes. What mattered in the Clintons' marriage was that when one stumbled, the other stepped up. Think about how Hillary encouraged Bill after his 1980s defeat, refusing to let him give up, even changing her own preference, like adopting the Clinton name to help him succeed. Later, Bill returned the support, encouraging Hillary's political ambitions and proudly campaigning for her. They took turns, leading and lifting each other up. This is a hallmark of enduring relationships. Sometimes you are the guide. Sometimes you need guidance. Hillary was Bill's anchor during the impeachment crisis, and years down the line, Bill became hers, standing by her side during her Senate and presidential campaigns. The practical takeaway: embrace a give-and-take rhythm in your relationship. Be ready to adapt and sacrifice when your partner needs it, and trust they will do the same for you. Communicate openly about those needs. Maybe one of you pauses a career to support the other's dream, or simply picks up extra chores when the other is overwhelmed. As Hillary showed, being a rock does not mean being unbending. It means being steady and supportive, holding each other up in turn. When you create that bedrock of mutual support, you build unshakable trust. Each success becomes a shared victory, and every setback becomes a challenge you face hand in hand. Lesson 3. Choose forgiveness and resilience over pride. Perhaps the most poignant lesson from Hillary's story is the power of forgiveness. She had to answer the hardest question. Could she forgive the unforgivable? In the end, she chose to try, and that choice saved her marriage and arguably saved Bill's presidency. Forgiving someone does not mean forgetting or excusing the hurt they caused. It means deciding that the relationship, or the greater good it serves, is worth more than your ego or anger. Hillary said,
I was not going to let anybody destroy my family.
And that meant not even letting her husband's mistakes destroy it. Now, in our own lives, most of us thankfully will never face the public betrayal that Hillary did. But we will face smaller hurts and disappointments even in the best relationships. A harsh word, a broken promise, a lapse in judgment. What do we do then? Hillary's example challenges us to consider forgiveness as a strength, not a weakness. It is like the wisdom from Schindler's List we referenced earlier. Real power is having every justification to punish and choosing mercy instead. By forgiving, Hillary reclaimed control of her life's narrative. She would not be just a victim of someone else's actions. She became the author of a story of reconciliation and resilience. So, ask yourself, is there someone you need to forgive? Is there a weight of bitterness you can set down for the sake of healing? Forgiveness is seldom easy. It was agonizing for Hillary, but it can set you free and sometimes even transform the other person. It allowed the Clintons to rebuild and continue their journey. Choosing forgiveness can open the door to a stronger, wiser relationship on the other side of pain. And equally important, it gives you inner peace. Remember, forgiving does not mean you stay in a harmful situation. It means if you choose to stay, you do so with an open heart committed to moving forward, not stuck in the past. Hillary's Grace Under Fire teaches us that sometimes love is less about the fairy tale romance and more about weathering the storms and growing stronger in the broken places. Take these lessons to heart. Share core values. Be each other's support and safe harbor. And know that forgiveness, when chosen with wisdom, can be a superpower. Whether you are building a new relationship or strengthening a long-term one, Hillary's example shows that true relationship is an active, resilient, and at times profoundly selfless choice. It is about deciding every day to face life side by side, even when the road gets hard. Now, as we close this episode, I invite you to join me in a short reflection in our Values Minute. It is a chance to take one core value from Hillary Clinton's story and consider how it might shine a light on our own lives. Today, let's reflect on forgiveness. This was the value at the crux of Hillary's most defining moment. So, take a deep breath with me, in and out. Close your eyes if you can, and for the next 60 seconds, think about a time in your life where forgiveness played a role. Perhaps someone hurt you, a friend, a family member, a partner, and you have held on to that pain. Or maybe you made a mistake and had to ask for forgiveness. Consider this. Is there someone you are ready to forgive, or at least to begin forgiving, for something that has been weighing on your heart? It might be a big hurt or a small slight. You don't have to condone what happened. Forgiveness is not about saying it was okay. It is about freeing yourself from the grip of that anger or sadness. Picture that person or situation gently in your mind. Acknowledge the hurt, the feelings it brings. And now, imagine what letting go of that burden might feel like. You are not necessarily telling them, "It is fine." You are telling yourself, "I release this pain. I will not let it control me." If it helps, quietly say to yourself, "I forgive you." You can say it out loud or in your heart. Notice how that makes you feel. Is it difficult? That is okay. Forgiveness can be a process, not a one-time event, but it starts with the intention to release the resentment. Think of Hillary in that lonely moment, choosing to forgive not because she had to, but because she realized it was a path to her own peace and to preserving something she valued deeply. Now, consider how you might practice forgiveness in your own relationships. Is it having an honest conversation with someone, writing a letter you never send, just to voice your hurt and let it go? Or perhaps forgiving yourself for something you regret. Sometimes that is the hardest kind of forgiveness. Carry this thought with you. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself as much as others. It is a quiet strength that can heal relationships and also heal your own heart. Even if you are not ready to forgive just yet, simply understanding its power is a start. As we end this Values Minute, slowly bring your attention back to the present. Take another deep breath, in and out. Feel the weight lifted just a little. Hillary Clinton's story showed us that forgiveness can transform lives. It kept a family together, it saved a presidency, and it allowed her to continue her own journey without bitterness holding her back. Maybe in our own small ways, we can find that kind of courage in our hearts too. Thank you for spending this time with me, walking through the highs and lows of an extraordinary relationship. I hope Hillary's tale of resilience and love has touched you and maybe even brought a tear to your eye as it has to mine. Sometimes strength means holding on when every instinct tells you to let go. Sometimes it means believing in someone and in yourself against the odds. If Bill and Hillary's story resonated with you, you might be wondering, how can I find my own kingmaker or become one for someone else? Well, knowledge is power, and you have already taken time to listen and learn. If you are eager to go deeper, I warmly invite you to take the next step with us. We have developed a masterclass on the art of choosing the right partner, which is packed with insights and practical tips for values-driven singles. It is essentially a deeper dive into the kinds of principles we touched on today, with exercises and examples from not just the Clintons but many other couples and psychology research. You can sign up for it by clicking on the masterclass link below the video. It is a great way to continue this journey of growth and reflection. It is our way of helping as many people as possible build the foundations for healthy relationships. However, if you are listening and thinking, I'm ready for that great relationship now, I just need some guidance tailored to me, then consider signing up for the Relationship Readiness Audit. That is a one-to-one session via Zoom with either me or a member of our coaching team, where we will help you assess where you are on your journey and how to attract the partner who truly aligns with your purpose and values. It is a chance to talk through your specific situation, maybe past patterns that have not worked, or challenges you are facing in finding the right person, and get some personalized feedback and next steps. Spots are limited, so if it is something you want, book your spot by clicking the audit link below the video. I want to stress that these resources are there as support, not as a sales pitch. I genuinely believe that with the right tools and awareness, everyone can improve their odds of finding a fulfilling relationship. And the more people who form strong, values-based relationships, the better our community becomes, because healthy couples tend to do a lot of good around them. Look at the Clintons. Their relationship did not just elevate them, it allowed them to uplift millions of others. That is the ripple effect of a healthy relationship. As we close, I want you to hold on to this thought. The story of Bill and Hillary Clinton reminds us that the right relationship does not hold you back. It helps you become more of who you are meant to become. So imagine for a moment what having that kind of partner could unlock in your life. Someone who sees your potential even when you doubt yourself. Someone who is not afraid to call you out when you stray from your values, yet stands by you at your worst and celebrates you at your best. What doors might open for you in your career, in your personal growth, in your happiness? It is a beautiful vision, isn't it? And it is not just for fairy tales or famous people. It is something you can seek and build in your own life. We at the Kingmakers would love to help you get there. That is why we are here, to learn from these stories and apply the lessons. So, if today's episode spoke to you, consider taking the Relationship Readiness Masterclass or audit, or simply start with a small step like having a heart-to-heart conversation with someone you trust about what you learned. Thank you, sincerely, for listening. I know it was a deep dive, and I appreciate you sticking with it. I hope you found it enriching and moving. If you enjoyed today's story, please subscribe to the podcast and share it with someone who would love this message. Maybe even share it with the Bill to your Hillary, if you have found them, or with a friend who is searching for their own king or queen maker. On our next episode, we will dive into another incredible kingmaker story. I won't spoil it fully, but here is a hint. We will travel back in time to meet a woman who kept her husband's name in public consciousness while he was in prison. I promise it is a fascinating tale with a very different context from the Clintons, but equally rich in lessons. Until then, stay true to your values, keep believing in the power of relationship, and remember, you have the power to make those around you kings and queens, just as they do for you. Keep an eye out for those who are trying to do the same for you. This is Romeo Richards, your host at the Kingmakers Podcast. Signing off, take care, and talk to you next time.